you stripping another whole block down, Donnie? Why do we need that?
Because someone let a rod out of the other one.
No one's seen this yet. We're about to pull the motor out and we'll strip it apart, but this was found on the track of our last pass, so definitely not a good day. We've got a couple of ideas on what's caused it. Stay tuned. People thought Rubik's Cubes were hard. Try and get 2 straps out of one. How'd you do that, mate?
I don't know, magic.
Did you do it, Guy?
Not me, mate.
No, I'm out. Oh, you reckon you're going to get it?
No, I don't actually. Finger's stuck to the other side.
Turn your tongue the other way.
As soon as we get this back together, I promise we'll pull the motor out of the Celica and we'll see exactly what happened to it. This is going to keep me out of trouble for a couple of weeks, but I'm itching to get back into the Celica. What are you pushing, Donnie? Oh, I'm trying. Race cars. So after a 4-week break, we're ready to see what damage was caused when the flying conrod come out the side. That's this piece here. We're starting together so we can rebuild again. So we noticed that hole, then we got the conrod off the track and noticed that the conrod was never going to fit out that hole. Oh, there's the hole. Lucky it hasn't wiped our starter motor out or knocked the main power feed off it as well, actually. Lucky the engine mount's still in there too. It's right next to it. Oh, not good. Now that's part of the rules for drag racing. Guys like me end up putting all our engine oil everywhere it lands in there and doesn't end up on the track, hopefully. I mean guys like Dan. Oh, we're out of the car. It's going to be good to get it apart so far. Oh, there's a little ding in the sump, Donnie. Oh, a little bit of oil coming out of the sump. That's not bad though. I thought we were going to have a massive rip through there.
Holds more oil capacity.
Yeah, actually, it might not be a hole.
No, it's just a hill.
So we'll pull all this adapter plate off. This is a little hole. Oh look, you can see it right through the other side. Oi Donnie, go on the other side, mate, of this for a tick. And wave through the hole, mate. This will be funny. Hey, Donnie!
There you go, mate.
What are you doing through there, Donnie? Oh, when you're on, Betsy, you know it's gonna be a bad day. So that is the only sign in the sump, a little ding. So we don't have to do any sump repairs apart from the reason why the motor blew up, which was oil starvation under braking. So we'll talk about that later. I don't want to talk about it now. And remember, if you need tyres, go and see these guys. If you need wheels, go and see these guys. Oh, the moment of truth.
Ready?
Oh, a little bit of shiny stuff in there. Look at that, only one little ding. It's come through. She's buckled that plate. The old windage tray has had a hiding. What do we got in the pickup? Oh, the pickup's pretty good. Not a lot of stuff in there, but there's definitely a bit of stuff floating around. We'll pull the pump off, pull the front timing cover, then we'll check out this crank and see where the rod and piston are hiding. Ooh, that's not good. So the piston is sitting at the bottom.
It's only 1 out of 3. We'll just take that up and send her again.
1 out of 4 is not bad at all. So we've just got the head off. Now we've noticed a few little things here that don't sort of add up. Mr. Remy engine. We've got head gaskets blown in certain spots by the look of it. Through here. Also, I thought we'd seen a bit through number 1. But it's all, we've got seizure issues in a bore, which shouldn't
3 as well.
shouldn't happen. we weren't having temperature issues. That sort of looks like heat seizure sort of stuff, which we weren't. Yeah, this is a bit odd. So definitely looks to be a bit of an oil pressure issue. All the bearings have lost tension. They've all got score marks. They're the big ends. All the mains were the same. Oh, it should be shiny like that one, not like that one. That flex plate coupler looks like it was welding itself to the back of the crank. Those bolts all had come loose. So, we've got some issues. Plenty of issues, but nothing that can't be resolved. That should be connected to that, but it's not. Right, it's time to talk about what caused this, or what we think's caused it anyway. So we had a lack of oil pressure under braking throughout the pass. It was fine off the start line. It was fine. We monitored that on the logs, obviously. Something we weren't looking at too much was after the pass. So as soon as throttle position dropped off, it was probably not long after that, straight away oil pressure would plummet. And then I noticed the engine was still at 7,000 RPM, obviously on the rundown. So this is how the sump sits in the car. If we're driving it, we've got the big wings out the front of the sides. Now our pickup's right in the back. So I never put any baffles in it. I didn't think about braking. I was thinking more of on the hit with all the oil wanting to come to the back. So the biggest thing with it is under braking, all the oil is leaving from around the back of the pickup and flying out the wings at the front. There's no baffling there. That is my fault. It was something that was overlooked. I never even considered it in the braking area, something like that happening. With the old motor in it at 135 mile an hour, I've looked back at the logs on there and we did not lose oil pressure at all. It stayed pretty stable, 50 to 70 pound the whole way on the rundown. So that extra 30 mile an hour, it's something that got us unstuck. That's where the pump sits. The pickup is right in the back. So after a month off, we got back into action and thought we better get into this thing and get something happening. We've ordered sleeves from the States. They'll be here in a couple of weeks. We've just had all the pistons and rods arrive for the new motor. We're going with the same rod. It wasn't the rod's fault. We've gone with a 4-piston Wiseco piston. These ones, they get them made especially for them. They do have a lot more strength than an off-the-shelf Wiseco piston. So that should be good in the future. So a bit of machine work. We'll send the head away. Luckily the head, the only real damage, it's had a light couple of taps when the big end's gone and it's just tapped in here, which will clean up fine. Then just get that resurfaced. Everything else, the cams and everything, no wear in any of that. Obviously we'll strip everything right down and clean everything. So it's not as bad as we thought. I'm glad the head's salvageable. If that wasn't, it would be a bit more of a kick in the ass. I couldn't cut that neater if I was to use a 5-inch grinder, I reckon. That is the nicest little slot in a block I've ever seen. That there looked like it got belted with a hammer, but I'm impressed with that. Oh, look at that. That's the go. There's a bit of art for you. There would have been a brief split second where it would have actually looked like that. That's quite impressive. Hey! 3 stories hitting the dirt and it still goes. Still going, mate. Still going.